This is a Dragon Blazer production.
Coming down the aisle, it's the podcast tag team champions of the world,
The Rage and Blaze Show.
Welcome to a bonus edition of the Rage and Blaze Show. I'm Rage.
And I'm Blaze.
And today we are giving you a bonus edition because this is not one of the main 4 pay-per-views that we intend to review and talk about on our normal podcasting show. So throughout the show, we plan on giving you these bonus episodes when we feel there is something important enough. It could be a pay-per-view, it could be a Monday Night Raw, it could be a SmackDown, it doesn't matter. If it seems important enough that we need to visit, we decided we are going to have bonus episodes to visit those moments. And today's bonus episode is the main event, February 5th, 1988. This is so important because it literally sets up Wrestlemania 4. So, what do we know about this, Blaze?
Well, we looked at the card, and it's actually a pretty interesting card from what I can tell. So we're going to do the whole show instead of just the main event of Main Event.
So the reason we're doing this is because of the events that happen between Andre versus Hogan. It's the rematch from WrestleMania 3, and what happens after that creates a controversy with the title, which is why we are doing the show, which leads into a tournament that they will have at WrestleMania 4. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and we'll just get started. So the first thing we get on the main event is we get promos from Andre, Hogan, Macho Man, and Honky Tonk Man. So it apparently seems like this might just be a 2-match show, or at least they're not advertising any other matches to us. So after we get that, we get Vince McMahon and Jesse the Body Ventura with really bad audio quality.
Yeah, it seems like they were speaking for the crowd and not editing it for television.
Yeah, so it didn't really sound very good while watching it on TV. It was just weird sound quality that really reminded me of our first couple episodes.
Yeah, well, the audio quality through this whole show so far.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So they do their talking, kind of hype up the crowd and talk about, the matches that are about to happen. And then we get for some reason, a Hogan workout video.
We got a montage.
Montage!
A shitty 80s montage.
So, for some reason, we get this weird montage of him working out, like, oh my gosh, he's ready, brother. He's ready to take on Andre the Giant. So I'm not sure why. I know we've seen this before in some of our pay-per-views we've already watched.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't learn something after the Johnny Bravo thing.
They've got some thing about wanting to show us workouts.
Yes, that's what we watch wrestlers show them working out. That's what we watch.
I mean, maybe that's what my wife wants to watch, is some man working out in the gym, sweating and pumping iron. But I'm not digging it.
No. This was like straight up 80s shitty montage. Along with the pauses while he's working out. This whole show has been nothing but 80s cheese all the way, including the intro, where they even show like pictures of the Hawk and saying Hawk on the side.
So then after this little montage that we get of a workout video, we do get Macho Man and Honky Tonk Man, and they're doing some promos right before the match. And the sound quality at first was really bad on those, too.
Yeah. They kept playing Honky Tonk's Man music pretty loud while they're interviewing Macho Man.
Well, not only that, but you actually could not hear Mean Gene or Randy Savage at the beginning of the interview. And then when you started hearing them, and the volume did kind of show up, it sounded weird for a second before they finally got the audio fixed. So this, obviously, production value is not quite there as it would be at a WrestleMania or, one of the bigger pay-per-views.
Definitely not.
You could tell this was probably a television special, and it just really kind of lacks in quality, definitely in the sound department. So then we get some entrances. We get the Honky Tonk Man coming out, and he's doing his little juke and jive. He brings out his girlfriend, Peggy Sue, and they kind of dance a little bit in the ring while his music's playing. And then we get Macho Man coming out to a huge ovation, and right away, Macho Man, he's running after Honky Tonk Man. He's ready to fight right then, right now. And it was pretty high energy throughout this whole match. I felt this match wasn't as great as some other wrestling matches we have seen, like with Steamboat and Macho or anything like that.
Fair.
It was more full of fun moments.
It was. And Honky Tonk Man really kind of impressed me a little bit in this match. Like, he's really good with the heel juking and jiving and really playing to the crowd, pissing them off.
Yeah, and he did that a lot in this match, too. There was definitely a lot of that going on where he was definitely trying to antagonize Macho Man. He was trying to kind of flirt with Miss Elizabeth, even though he literally just introduced his girlfriend, Peggy Sue. Well, he didn't seem to care.
Blaze, his girlfriend, he doesn't care about his girlfriend. He is in love with Miss Elizabeth. This was just the plight of a hopeless romantic trying to get the love of his life to realize that he's the one for her.
Yeah, I don't think she saw it the same way, and ultimately it cost him the match doing all this because he ends up getting counted out like a coward because the title doesn't change hands. He loses the match, but the title doesn't change hands.
Macho Man throws him into the ring post. He got hurt. He couldn't make it back in the ring. He was dazed.
Come on, Blaze.
No.
So anyhow, so the match is over, but that's not where the fun stops. You get, you could tell that Honky Tonk Man was wanting to hit Macho Man over the head with his guitar again, as he had done previously on another show that we did not get to watch, but we did see highlights of this feud at the beginning of the show.
Don't you believe in fighting for the love of your life, Rage?
Not when the love of her life is right there in the ring with him.
He was fighting for her.
Okay. So anyhow,
this is a beautiful love story. I don't understand why you're just not a very romantic guy, are you, Rage?
Well, so Miss Elizabeth comes in the ring and steps in front of Macho Man to try to prevent that guitar from getting smashed over his head again. And this time, Honky Tonk Man shows a little bit of compassion because he doesn't want to hit a woman. And so then Macho Man gets the guitar from the Honky Tonk Man and tries to swing it at him, and he hightails out of the arena. Macho Man decides to break that guitar over the ring post.
A very nice guitar. It was just very rude of Macho Man to break that guitar. Look at it. Did you not see how nice that was?
That was a pretty nice guitar, but it is in pieces now. And
it's ridiculous.
So he did his best Garth Brooks impression and destroyed that guitar. And
or literally every rock star ever.
We're going to go with Garth Brooks here. So anyhow, so he brings in Miss Elizabeth into the ring, and she he puts her over his shoulders, and that's footage that I recognize that they've shown is Miss Elizabeth on Macho Man's shoulders as the crowd's just going wild. The crowd really seemed to eat this one up.
Oh, they really like Miss Elizabeth. For her talent, I'm sure.
I'm sure, just for her talent. But that does it for this match. It was a fun match. Just wasn't what you would call one of the best in wrestling matches.
In fairness,
but it
this
was
is
a fun,
TV
more
special.
of a. It was a TV special. It was
And
kind of
not a
more
main
of a
event.
It was kind of more of a grunge match where
It was more of a story.
Yeah.
This match was a story, and it told a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. So now moving on, we believe we're going to get the Hogan-Andre match because we don't believe there's any other matches in this show.
It doesn't seem like it. We've already gone through half the show.
Okay, so now we're on to the main event of the main event. It is Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan for the WWF Heavyweight Championship. And this is a rematch from WrestleMania 3. You get a little bit of promos from both of them before they come out to the ring. They come out to the ring, and from the get-go, you have Hogan having to deal with outside interference. You've got $1 Million Man and Virgil up on the apron. He bumps their heads together, and then it's on to the match. And from the get-go of this match, seemed like Andre really wasn't doing much except for allowing Hogan to try to knock him down. For quite a while, it was Hogan bouncing off the ropes, trying to hit Andre, clothesline him, hit him in the head, do anything and everything he could to knock the Giant down, and he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, this match, now, I obviously had some things to say about the last match we saw Hogan and Andre in. This was not a great match, but this was a more entertaining match. There was a lot of shenanigans in this match that I enjoyed.
Yeah, you didn't have the big body slam from Hogan in this match like you did in WrestleMania 3. So for me, it wasn't as good of a match because I thoroughly enjoyed the last match. This one was all for the storyline. This is what we are used to in today's WWE, the drama, the storyline. Sure, we still get great matches from great performers here and there, but this felt like, kind of like the Macho Man and Honky Tonk match, this is all about story. You kept having Virgil and $1 Million Man kind of jumping up on the apron, and you constantly had that kind of presence there where Hogan not only had to deal with Andre, he has to deal with the outside interference, and then later, as the match progresses, we find out he has to deal with the referee.
Yes. So a few things I saw in this match that I liked. There was a lot more striking, less wrestling moves, and because, like you just mentioned, this is a storyline style match. So this is focused on that story. And I feel like when you have someone like Andre, who is an attraction, he is larger than life, you know? But he's not a really good wrestler, and you saw it here. Him trying to pick up Hogan for a body slam off the top rope. He even had the upper leverage because Hogan was on the top of the rope. It still looked like a very bad body slam. Like every time Andre tried to do any kind of wrestling move, he's not a good wrestler. He's not.
He gave Hogan the big boot. Yeah. And he fell
down with the big boot.
That was interesting.
But what I will say, and the things that work for Andre is those strikes. Those strikes look like they hurt. Those headbutts look like they hurt. His choking Hogan repeatedly. It told a story, and not only that, but it actually looked like it hurt, you know? His big hands over his throat, you know, it told a story that worked.
So, speaking of that story, things that happened in this match, the first thing that was really questionable, but it didn't quite feel like the ref was paid off quite yet. But the first thing that happened was Hogan did get his leg drop onto Andre and pinned him, and probably would have, it appeared, to got the 1, 2, 3. But Virgil was doing something on the outside, and Hebner decided he would deal with Virgil on the outside instead of paying attention to the action in the ring. So that was your first hint that something was going on, but that distracts, guys outside distracting the ref. That's stuff like
traditional heel shenanigans.
Yeah, so nothing really felt off yet. But then, after he gets up and he kind of spins the ref around like, hey, do your job, Andre gets up and does, well, they called it a suplex, but they called it a suplex, but what would you call that? More of a hip toss?
I mean, I thought, I was trying, I did bash it, but he does the same move on Bam Bam Bigelow in the...
and we kind of pointed that out when we watched him.
Yeah, but, Bam Bam's a big guy, so right. I thought maybe,
it was hard for him to
that could
do it
have
on
been,
Bam Bam.
It could have, but he does just as bad with Hulk Hogan.
You know what I was thinking when they were talking about, they were referring to that being a suplex? Could you imagine him actually suplexing somebody and putting him up that high?
Right.
And then dropping him? How awesome of a move that would have looked.
If Andre could do it, but
I'm guessing he can't.
Like he can't.
But anyhow, they call this little hip toss a suplex, and then Andre pins Hulk for what appears to be 1, 2, 3.
Actually, I don't even think they got to the 2 count before Hulk put his shoulders up.
Hogan puts his shoulders up, and the ref keeps counting. He ignores that Hogan's shoulder goes up.
The first thing I told you is that ref was paid off. You got $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase on the outside of that ring. That ref was paid off, and it was great.
So, this was a lot of drama. So then the referee announces that Andre is the new World Heavyweight Champion. And all of a sudden, Andre holds the belt up, hands it to $1 Million Man. Does a little speech, says something. I can't really recall what all he said because...
I told you I was Hogan.
I am giving the title to $1 Million Man.
We love Andre, just so you all know.
So, anyhow, he hands the title over to Ted DiBiase, and Ted DiBiase is now apparently the WWF champion as of this night from what it looks. So not only do you get this, but then you get another referee that looks just like Dave Hebner.
Except for one's a little fatter than the other.
Yeah, one's a little bit
but
chubbier.
But they were pretty similar.
But you get another Hebner, and then you find out that apparently the wrong Hebner was out there because, as everybody knows, these guys are twins. But Hogan, in a post-interview, accuses him of getting plastic surgery to look like Dave Hebner.
Yeah. And, this is something you can get away with, because even to this day... Now, in AEW, I actually started... I recognize some of the refs, because there's this one female ref that's really awesome. So you actually